Hello everyone, welcome back to Asamani. And in this video, we're going to be discussing the area of a triangle, area of a rectangle, and the area of a circle. So how do we find the area of these shapes? Well, I have listed the formulas underneath each shape. So for triangle, A, which stands for area, equals 1/2 times base times height. So let's just have a key up here. So A is area. That's going to be the biggest one. B will be base. And H will be height. Okay, so for a triangle, it's 1/2 base times height. For a rectangle, it's just base times height. And for a circle, there's this weird symbol here. Well, that symbol is called pi. Not the kind of eating pie, it's a Greek letter which is it's an irrational number, and it goes infinitely. So it's 3.14, and it goes on and on and on with more like infinite numbers. So in this video, we're just going to use pi as 3.14. So just to clear that out of the way. And so R, what does R mean? So a circle has something called a radius. Because it is a perfect round shape, every point on the edge will be the same distance from the center. So we use that to find the area of a circle, because that's how it's an easier way to find the whole, because there isn't any sides for a circle or corners or angles. So this is how we would this right here would be the radius. Radius. Okay, so let's first try solving a rectangle's area, because that is the simplest out of all of these three. Okay, so what will be the steps that we take to find the area of a rectangle? Well, a rectangle isn't actually that long because to solve, because its own two sides are the same. So the 7 centimeters here, let me just do that. 7 centimeters here and 9 centimeters are the only two different values, because 9 centimeters will also be here as well, because both of the sides are the same, because they're on opposite ends. And same thing with the 7 centimeters. So that makes it really easy for us to calculate the area, because the area is here base times height. So what we can do is here, because the base is 9 centimeters here, because the base usually just means the bottom, but you can really just multiply the top as well, because it is still part of the 9 centimeters. So the 9 centimeters is the base here, because it's the bottom, and the top is the same value, so you can also multiply for the top as well. And the height here is 7 centimeters. So two symbols or numbers or letters right next to each other in math is almost always multiplication. So what is 9 times 7? So 9 times 7 is 63. So in the middle of the rectangle, I would just put area equals 63, and then we have to put the units. The units is centimeters here, so because we can see that all of the numbers are labeled with something as centimeters. So we'll put centimeters, and because it's area, we put centimeters squared because we're multiplying it's in 2 dimensions and not a 3 dimensions. So in a future video, when we do 3-dimensional figures, I'll explain this more in depth on how why we write centimeters squared and other things as well. So area equals 63 centimeters squared. So that's how you would solve a rectangle for its area. Okay, what about a triangle now? We'll go to a triangle. So here we see that it says half base times 1/2 times base times height. So it doesn't really introduce that many things new. It's just how to find the height that's different, because here in a rectangle we can clearly see the 2 sides, but in a triangle, because it's 3 sides, you don't really know which is the base, what is the height. So this video will help you understand for calculating area of a triangle. So here, the dotted line here represents the height. Usually in many diagrams, they usually make the height for a triangle dotted. That is one way to identify the height, and you can use that so you don't get confused. So what I usually like to do is I like to write it down, height, H for height, and then B for base. So we know that the height is the dotted line, and it says 5 centimeters here. 5 centimeters. So I'll put just 5 centimeters. Okay, now for the base. The base, like we discussed in the rectangle, we know that the base is usually the bottom side of the triangle. So in the bottom side of a rectangle. But one way to find out for a triangle, if you have an isosceles triangle like this, where 2 sides are equal and one side isn't the same, then what you can do is whichever side is the side that isn't equal to the other 2 sides in an isosceles triangle, at least, is the base. So in this case, the base is on the bottom, but we could invert this triangle saying like this to keep the triangle like this, and we can say 6 centimeters, and this would still be the base. Okay, so we found the base as well, so the base is 6 centimeters. Okay, so now how do we find the area? Because we found the 2 important things. We found the 2 things that are needed in this formula. So same thing, we multiply because the numbers are right next to each other. So 6 times 5 times 1/2. Please, I encourage you to pause the video here and try calculating this right now. Okay, so we'll just group this. So 6 times 5 is 30, and 30 times 1/2 is 15, because 1/2 is just dividing by 2. So 15 is here. So we'll go up over here. Let me just make some space here. I'll just delete this. So we can say area is equal to area is equal to 15. Okay, now last but not least, it's the circle. So the circle is the most complicated one out of these three by far because it isn't something that you normally would work with because base times height is easy to find, but because a circle doesn't really have a base or a height and some of the things might be kind of new. Okay, so A equals pi r squared. So area equals pi r squared. So what does that mean, pi r squared? So pi we know is 3.14, so we can say 3.14 r squared. What does this r squared mean? So if you don't know exponents already, the number 2 is an exponent and r is the radius is the base. And basically having an exponent means multiplying the number by itself a certain number of times. So the exponent really just determines how many times. So here so the exponent is 2. So it'd be r squared is equal to r times r. Okay, so now we can use that to find the area of a circle. So here we have it's stated that 6 centimeters is the radius. So let's plug this into our formula. So here we know that 6 centimeters is the radius. So we can say 6 times 6 would be r squared. And this is equal to 36. And now we have to multiply this by 3.14. So times 3.14. Okay, I encourage you to pause the video and try solving this on your own. Okay, so, well, let's solve this. So we know 6 times 4 is 24. No, 4 times 3 is 12, 14. Put the 0. So then it's 36 because 1 times 36 is 36. And 3 times 36 is 18. So 108. Whoops. Okay, now when we add this up, we get 4. So, and then there are 2 decimal places, so we get 14.84. That is what you should have got as your answer. So, yeah. So now the area is 14.84. So we'll just write it down. Area equals 14.84. Okay. So yeah, I think that I'm gonna end the video here. Please continue to practice this so you get the hang of it and get more familiar with this. Please like and subscribe to this channel, and please stay tuned for more videos, and comment if you have any ideas that you would like to see on this channel. Thank you and have a great day.